Hi, Shon Gerber here with Reduce Cyber Risk, and in my free training I'm putting out today, Cybersecurity Training Course, how to train or how to start a career in cybersecurity. Hi, I'm Shon Gerber with Reduce Cyber Risk, and the reason I put together this free video and this free training was designed specifically for people looking for a career in cybersecurity. And my main focus is on small and medium businesses because I see a huge gap there. Well, if you are wanting to get a career in cybersecurity, that's a great place for you to focus on, is to help small and medium businesses with their cybersecurity needs. And so we're going to go through this quick training around some of the things that I've found and what you can consider as you move forward in your career. If you're deciding in it right now, you're already kind of moved that direction, or one, you're just kind of looking to see if it's something you really want to do. This video training is for you. Again, free, totally free to you. If you like what you see, I've got some more stuff coming down the pike, but again, this one's just free, no obligation. So my background, I'm a commercial pilot, flew for years, went to school to be an airline pilot, and actually ended up being a B-1 weapons systems officer on a military airplane. Did that for about 7 years, loved it, blast, enjoyed it, couldn't ask for any more. However, things have to change, and so I had to change. One of the things I changed about was I eventually became the commander of a red team, and our red team had about 80 people in it, and what we would do is we would physically break into facilities, legally of course, and military installations, and we would go from a network standpoint and from a physical standpoint. And what we'd do is we would then take our learnings and teach the people at those locations what they could do to be better. Well, that's my background, okay? Then from there, I moved into corporate America. We have various security roles as a security architect, the manager of a security operations center, and then eventually I became the chief information security officer for a multinational company. Very fortunate, very blessed in my career. But during that time, I've seen gaps, and I also see a lot of security people who want to get in it, or people who aren't security people but want to get into that space, saying, what can I do? Well, this training's for you. It's designed to kind of help you decide if this is something you really want to get into and give you a path to go down. So I have a case study, and the purpose of this is to kind of show where I see the gaps. So locally, I had a business that had some ransomware that was within their network. It's over 200 plus network nodes that are on it, and it's about 400 employees. So it's a pretty good sized business, right? Well, they had ransomware hit their network, shut everything down, caused them all kinds of issues, tons of lost time and opportunity cost and capital expense because they had to spend money to get stuff fixed. Well, they had to bring in an incident response team, cost them 50 grand. They didn't have a good incident response process. All these things were not done. And the owner was just like beside himself. He didn't know what to do. And what it comes down to is FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Didn't know who to talk to, didn't know what to do, and it just was not a good situation. So from that, I've learned, you know what, there's a gap there. And we need to be able to come into a way that we can help people secure their small and medium businesses, but also at the same time help teach people how to do it, right? From the business owner standpoint, or even from the standpoint of that you want a career in cybersecurity. Again, this is a serious need that I see, extremely big, right? Okay, and I also don't you know, I've got basically a third grade education, right? So if I talk to you that doesn't sound real cybersecurity, like really big brain and talking super high and you can't quite understand them, well, the reason is because, yeah, my education ain't that high. So I'll talk to you the way I talk, and you will either laugh at it or you'll go, this guy's an idiot, or maybe you'll listen. It's hard to say. We'll see how it goes. So what you need to know, point one, the need. There's over 2 million jobs that are supposed to be unfilled by 2020 in the cybersecurity space. Now that's going to change because it's going to fluctuate, right? But everything's network connected. Everything is internet connected. It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better from the standpoint of less people. There's going to be more need. So they're going to have to come up with unique ways to help address that, which they will. But bottom line is there's a need if you want to get in cybersecurity. Higher education just cannot keep up with the demand. And in some cases, I don't believe it necessarily fits. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for a role. Tech or trade schools, they do provide an alternative option for you and your ability to do this. And I really highly recommend some of those depending upon the role that you're trying to get into. And in some cases, it's a great entry-level way to get into the cybersecurity field. Technology is just exploding. It's only going faster and faster and faster. And so the point of it is that if you want to get into this space, there's tons of room for growth, and the income potential is quite large and quite high. Point two, experience required. Okay, question mark. Okay, it depends, right? Like everything else in life, it depends. Is experience important? Yes. If you're with a large company, I would say even a really large mid-sized business that has potentially about $1 billion in sales, you probably need somebody on the books at least part-time that's doing cybersecurity for you. Depending upon if you have regulatory requirements, you have highly sensitive data, those kind of things, you may want to consider it. However, you can also hire a third party to do this for you because they're getting smarter on how to do it. You just got to decide what is best for you and your company. So your HR person, your hiring manager, they need to consider all these options as they're looking at it. Highly recommend an apprenticeship. Get people that are interested in cybersecurity and what can we do to help promote that capability. Also need to look at internal IT resources, accountants, or lawyers. Honestly, if you have an IT background, it can be in some cases a bit of a detriment. Find people that like this career. I know some of the best cybersecurity people are compliance or lawyers because they think differently than the IT guy that goes black and white, black and white. That isn't always the case. There's a lot of gray, a lot of gray. Also recommend if you're looking to get in this space, volunteer work. Do some nonprofits, churches, whatever it is, do some of that for you, okay? Or go in there and help them, offer up your services. However, the next slide we'll talk about legal stuff. You got to have some legal things in place if you're going to do that, or just consider have people sign some paper. It's important. But again, is experience required? Not always. Can you get started just as an apprentice? Yes. Look for opportunities that you can work for a current employer and start and get smart on cybersecurity to kind of help them out. Certifications. They're good and they're bad. I guess it depends, right? Certifications are important in the fact that you can take a test, you get information, you then potentially can regurgitate it, and you start to learn stuff, right? The standard level. CISSPs, which is what I am, you have to have a certain level of experience and expertise before you can move on or you can apply for that thing. It's a lot more of a headache in many cases. And they have continuing education credits you've got to continue during the year. However, if you're really good at taking tests, it doesn't necessarily mean you're a really good person at protecting people's data. So I weigh them with value, but at the same time is they're not the be-all, end-all that you have to have a certificate or certification for you to be able to get this role. Sometimes it's used as a way to kind of hedge people out that may not have the experience. But at the end of the day, if you're a good hiring manager or HR person, you will take experience and put it at the same level, if not higher, than a certification. So again, market is so thin, something might be better than nothing, and that's something to consider out with certifications. Some recommended certs that I put out there, Security Plus, Networks Plus, Cloud certs, are good for entry-level certifications. If you're looking for a little bit longer, you've been in the business a little bit more, or you're an IT person, been around for a while, CISSP, CISM, or Certified Ethical Hacker. Those are all different ones that you can use to or certifications that would be valuable getting a career down the road. Point 4, legal. If you're looking to have your own business, you need to have a legal entity, LLC, S Corp, C Corp, whatever you feel that you need to get guidance on what that would be, but you need to have some legal entity in place if you're going to be doing consulting work of some kind. Hold harmless agreements. Those are important, especially if you're doing pro bono work or you're doing volunteer work. You need to do that. You need to consider those. Now, again, disclaimer, I am not a lawyer. You need to contact a lawyer if you have questions. Do not take this as financial or legal advice, because it's not, but it's a guidance for you to kind of consider and let it percolate in your brain if you decide to go down this path. Again, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take this as legal advice. All right, insurance. You need to look at an errors and omissions policy. They're not expensive. In the event that something happens, you're covered, right? So you give advice, it goes south, someone decides to sue you, have an errors and omissions policy in place. I think like $1 million or $2 million is about $250 a year approximately in the United States. Just consider it, look at it, see what works best for you. Point 5, knowledge. Okay, you need to have industry leaders in place. You need to follow industry leaders, I should say. Read, listen, learn, ask questions. If you don't know, ask questions. If you hear of a cybersecurity person that says they've got it figured out, run away, okay? They don't. This stuff is changing so fast that nobody is fully connected. I don't care who they are. They're not. They may be a good person in their niche, but overall, there's way too much for any one person to really know. Look at blogs, podcasts, webinars. All of those things are available. Check out Reduce Cyber Risk. I've got great stuff, but I'm not the be-all, end-all by any means. There's lots of really good websites out there that can give you more information, way more than I can give you, right, in some cases. So you need to check it all out and also put on the lens of understanding it. Who has an agenda? Who doesn't? What are they trying to teach you? Why are they trying to teach you that? Organize meetings, conferences, memberships, or mentors. Look at all of those. There's plenty of those things going on a weekly, monthly basis around the country and around the globe. Also, reduce cyber risk. Again, podcast trainings and other documents, I'll have those available to you. One thing I also say is that if you sign up for my email subscription list, I will be giving you more and more content from that. That won't necessarily be out on my website right away. It may take time. There will also be stuff that'll be out there specifically only for email subscribers. So keep that in mind. How do you get started from frequently asked questions? It's so confusing. I've heard that multiple times. The thing is it can be very confusing if you try to find or use a standard path to make this happen. It's not going to be standard. You're going to have to tweak it. You're going to have to modify it. Ask mentors what to do. But if you ask questions and you get guidance, I can guarantee you that an opportunity will come up to you. I guarantee it's going to happen. Now, my guarantee, what's it worth? Nothing. But there's going to be, with over 2 million jobs, you'll find something. You will. What training would you start and how would you proceed to land that first job? Okay, training, again, get as much information. The World Wide Web has everything you could ever want around cybersecurity and training. I'd also recommend going to a class. If you can get a Security Plus class, like a boot camp, go to that. It's a really good foundational security course to get. It might cost you a couple $1,000 to go to it, but it'll be worth it if this is what you want to do for a career. And it's also a great little certification to go in and say, yeah, I'm Security Plus certified. Again, that's where it's beneficial and valuable. They do bring some level of credibility to them. Just don't rely on them. How much do you charge for services? It depends, right? How experienced are you? CISOs like myself, but not me, okay? Just set this straight, not me. But chief information security officers can command up to $300, $350 an hour. I don't do that. I don't command anywhere close to that, but some people do. Or it's could be around $70,000. I've seen security analysts making $70,000 a year. Again, not bad money for someone that comes out. And these people don't have a college education. So those are great opportunities for you, potentially, if you want to look at this as a career. Again, I'm going to have a cybersecurity jobs course that's going to be available. It's going to be tied to this. And what you'll do is it's going to go through what exactly you need to consider when you're looking at a different job. Again, it's all out there for you. I'm giving it away for you. It's about a $100 value that I would be putting on Udemy. I'm going to be giving that to you for free. Just all I ask is that, you know what? Give me your email so that I can go ahead and help you out. That's what my whole purpose is that by getting on my email list, I will then send you out information around what you need to do to protect your business, also what you can do around your career. All of those aspects from a cybersecurity standpoint, you're going to get my brain by just signing up through my email list. So again, sign it up. We'll get you some direct access to audio and video stuff. I'm going to get it to you ahead of anybody else that hits my site. The whole purpose is, though, is to provide you all the information you need to help your cybersecurity career get going in the right direction. If you got any questions, go ahead, get a hold of me at Reduce Cyber Risk. But all I can say is let's get started.